Hi, everyone. Zach Larson, Small Business Development Group, and I'm here today to talk to you about small business federal contracting. Last year, the federal government awarded $147 billion to small businesses just like yours for federal contracts. And here's the 5 things that you can do for your business right now to immediately become eligible for federal contracting. So we're going to cover those 5 steps. I'm going to show you how you can do it on your own, and then we're going to have a discussion about what it takes to compete for and win those dollars. So let's jump right into it. What are the 5 things that you need in order to be able to win a federal contract? Well, number one, you have to get a DUNS number from Dun & Bradstreet. It's free and it's easy if you know where to go. I'm going to show you where you can go to get your DUNS number expedited at no cost. Number two, you need to choose your primary industry code. It's called a NAICS code, North American Industry Classification System. You need to choose at least one NAICS code because that's going to tell the government what industry you're in. And you do that at census.gov. I'll show you that page right here. This is where you can go in and choose NAICS codes. You search over here on the keyword section, and then based on the keyword you put in, it'll give you some codes to look at. Choose the one that best fits your business. Number three, you have to register in something called the System for Award Management, or SAM.gov. This is that website. You have to create a login. And then when you go into SAM.gov, it's going to ask you for your DUNS number. It's going to pull your information over from Dun & Bradstreet. So you have to have DUNS done first before you can do that. But that is your next step. Once you've completed your SAM registration, you're going to get your code that makes you eligible to work on government contracts. It's called the Commercial and Government Entity, or CAGE code. It's a 5-digit alphanumeric code. And once you've got your DUNS number, your primary NAICS code, and your CAGE code, you are now eligible to start bidding on contracts. And that's the 5th step. Bidding on contracts at sam.gov. Those are your 5 keys to becoming eligible for federal contracting. Now, here's the challenge. Being eligible does not necessarily mean you're going to win a federal contract. And in fact, if all you do is become eligible, then you're likely to experience some frustration on your journey to trying to win a contract. Now that you're eligible, there's 3 key things you need to know before you start your journey to becoming a successful government contractor. Number one, it takes the average small business 2 years to compete for and win their first federal contract. Number two, that business spends an average of $80,000 to $130,000 in pursuit of that contract. And number three, 4 out of 5 small businesses registered for federal contracting never win a federal contract. Now, there's one thing you can do to mitigate all 3 of those risks. With this simple step, you can reduce your time frame from years to weeks. You can reduce your cost down to a fraction of that number that I gave, $80,000 to $130,000. And you can significantly increase your odds of being successful. And knowing that the average small business contractor earned $2.7 million in federal contracts last year, it's definitely worth pursuit, provided you know this one simple step. And this one step is having the right business plan. If you've got the right business plan to go after federal contracts, you're going to reduce your time, reduce your costs, and increase your odds. So how do you get the right business plan? How do you get the plan that's going to reduce your time, reduce your cost, and increase your odds? Well, there's only 2 ways to get that plan. The way that most companies acquire the knowledge to have the right business plan is they experience failure and learn from their mistakes. They experience failure over and over and over, but they get smarter and better and more evolved in their approach. And over time, that advancement through making mistakes and spending time and spending money gets them into a position where they finally have a comprehensive, effective business plan to go after government contracts. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to spend the time and the money to make those mistakes to get that plan. And so what we're doing is we're just going to go ahead and skip all the mistake making and all that time and money consumption. And we're just going to get you to the end of the line with the business plan that these companies use to earn on average $2.7 million in federal contracts. Our clients have won over $500 million in federal contracts, and that's made up of $2,500 credit card purchases. That's right, credit card purchases. That's made up of $25,000 purchase orders. That's made up of $250,000 simplified acquisitions. And sure, there's $1 million contracts in there, but not everybody is positioned to win $1 million contract, and not everybody needs to win $1 million contract for this to make sense. So no matter where you're at, you can position yourself to compete if you've got the right plan. And that's what we're going to help you with. So at this point, you may be thinking to yourself a number of things. You might be thinking, you're too small. Your business is too small. You might be thinking you're too niche, or you're too new, or this is too good to be true, or maybe it's too complicated. There's too much red tape. The contracts are too big. The opportunities are too big. And then finally, you might be thinking to yourself, yeah, this is going to be too expensive. This is going to be too expensive to pursue. So let's cover each of those items. All right. Number one, too small. Let's talk about your business being too small. I've got examples, and you'll see them on this presentation, of companies that have fewer than 10 employees, fewer than 5 employees, sole proprietors, single operator sole proprietors that win tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, in some cases, millions of dollars in federal contracts. I've got companies that do $100,000 in annual revenue, $200,000 in annual revenue, that grow their company significantly by winning a $50,000 or $100,000 contract, which is equivalent to their annual revenue. And obviously, you want to make sure that you do something within your scale and scope. But the point is, companies have transformed themselves through government contracting. So there is no such thing as too small. There is no such thing as too few employees. As long as you are good at what you do and you can demonstrate competence and you know how to engage the federal market, you can win federal contracts, regardless of size, regardless of experience. Now, the second thing, too niche. A lot of people think the government only buys certain things. Here's the thing, guys. The federal government is one of the largest purchasers of supplies and services in the entire world. They buy everything you can think of. If you're a business-to-business company and you have a market in the commercial business, there's a good chance the federal market is the same or better for you in terms of opportunity. The difference is, unlike your commercial customers, there's two primary differences in the federal market. Number one, the federal government pays their bills when the invoices are sent. As long as you submit the invoice correctly, you're not chasing them on accounts receivable for 90, 120, 180 days out. Number two, unlike your other commercial customers, the federal government has to spend its money every year. It's actually your money, right? It's your taxpayer dollars. But the point is, it has to get spent every year. And you, as a federal contractor, are the beneficiary of that required spend. So they buy what you sell and they have to spend their money. Those are two really good attributes for a customer. All right. Too good to be true. This is a pipe dream. That's not you. It's the other guys. It's an insider's game, whatever. It's not an insider's game. It's a knowledge game. If you know what to do and you execute correctly, you become the insider. You're the one that understands how to do it. Once you're an insider and you're getting government contracts, a lot less competition, a lot fewer companies out there that know what you know and know how to do what you do now. Once you're over that wall is still pretty high up for your competition to get over. So less competition means more opportunity. And it's a stable market. In fact, when there's commercial disruption, think the 07-08 crisis, the pandemic, 9/11, every time some event happens that disrupts the commercial market, the federal market not only stabilizes, the opportunities actually go up. So this is definitely a worthwhile investment. And here's the last part. Too expensive, right? Too expensive, not going to, no possible way you're going to have enough money or enough capital to be able to invest in this. Not true. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the role that we're playing in this process for you. We are going to help you answer 3 simple questions. Should I? Could I? How do I? Should I? Should I consider the federal market as a customer? We're going to help you determine the market demand for your products and services, how much the federal government buys, how much they spend on products or services like yours, so you'll have clarity about whether or not you should even participate. Number 2, could I? Could I means, are you ready? Are you prepared? Do you have what it takes to compete for federal contracts right now? We're going to determine that together. And we're going to make sure that if you're ready, you know exactly what you need to do. And if you're not ready, if there's something holding you back, we're going to make sure you know exactly what you need to do to put yourself in position to be competitive. And then the final one is, how do I? How do I compete for these contracts? And that's the beautiful piece of what we're going to provide. As I stated earlier, you're not going to take 2 years of hard lessons learned and money spent learning how to build out the perfect business plan. We're going to skip all that, and we're going to provide for you the exact blueprint that these small businesses that have won $2.7 million on average last year, the exact blueprint they use to win these contracts. We're going to provide that blueprint for you. We're going to explain it to you. We're going to consult you and guide you. And we're going to make sure that you understand exactly what that means in terms of benefit for you. So here's some of the benefits. We're going to make you aware of things like how to participate in the $27 billion credit card market that most people don't even know exists in the federal government. The federal government spends $27 billion plus per year on credit cards, and the limit for how often they can use that credit card or the dollar amount just went up. So that spending is going higher. Number two, we're going to show you how to position yourself so that federal buyers are reaching out to you directly asking for your services. Instead of you having to go and bid, we're going to show you how to position yourself where they come to you. Number three, there's an entire subset of contracts in the federal market where the government's only getting one or two offers and they're not posted for public bid and nobody sees them. And the only way that you get an opportunity is by establishing the right relationships. And we're going to show you who to establish those relationships with, and we're going to explain to you how to establish those relationships. So those are just three of the elements you're going to get in this business plan. Now, what does this business plan cost? Well, in the normal sense, for somebody that's already in the federal market that we're consulting, because that's who we normally consult, are businesses that are already actively pursuing federal contracts. The market research effort's about a $2,000 product. The assessment form is $1,000, and then the business plan is $2,500. So it's usually about a $5,500 package for those three elements. Should I, could I, how do I? And that's for companies that are already registered and pursuing federal contracts, us doing sort of a gaps analysis or a risk assessment or triaging why they haven't been successful. In your case, we're going to provide that for you up front so that you can avoid the mistakes these other companies have made where they're coming to us to rescue them. So instead of charging $5,500, we're going to charge you $500. That's right. We're going to charge you a $500 fee to provide a $5,500 value for this reason. We know if we demonstrate to you our competence, our reliability, our trust, when it comes time to pursue federal contracts, you're going to need help. Here's the big secret. The one thing no small business has is enough bandwidth to take in all this information, process it, and execute on it. You're going to need help along your journey. Our job is to make sure you're on the right path on your journey so that your journey is straightforward and doesn't take 2 years of winding roads of mistakes and lost dollars. So our proposal to you is we will provide a $5,500 value for $500 to those of you willing to make that initial investment to really know, should you, could you, and how do you? That's what we're going to provide. Now, here's the caveat. We are a small, boutique, highly customer-centric firm, and that means we're only going to take on so many clients. And as you can imagine, every client's going to have a lot of needs and is going to need a lot of our support along the way. So you see this offer now, it means two things. Number one, you were already pre-selected to receive this email or this offer. If you've received this offer, we've already pre-identified you as someone that should do this or should consider doing this based on what we know about your industry, your company, et cetera. Number two, when this is gone, it's gone. When we bring on enough clients and we're at capacity, we are taking this offer down. We have to. We have to focus on our customers. We have to make sure we can provide the maximum value for each customer because each of our customers is going to need our help on this journey. So if you see this offer here now, take action right now. Click on the button, buy the package. It's a fraction of what you would spend otherwise. And it's an example of how we help companies save time and money by just getting you to the answers that you need. So this is the time to find out, should you be one of the companies earning $2.7 million on average in federal contracts as a small business? Can you be that company? Should you be that company? Our feeling is absolutely you should. Absolutely you could. We're going to show you how. Buy this package, get started, and let us show you the path to success in federal contracting. Thank you very much for watching this video and have a great day.